Hi, this is Dave. Welcome to Old Dad Studio. Today I've got Quinn with me, and Quinn is running on an iPhone rather than the normal iPad that I have. And y'all didn't see this, but it took me like 20 minutes to try to get the iPhone placed right. The screen on the iPhone has such a glare with all the lights that I have. I trying to find a spot where there wasn't glare was anyway. So it's at a really crookedy angle. You don't care. You don't care. I'm just sharing the behind the scenes today. So, all right. Today's vlog, I want to talk about a change that was recently made by OpenAI. So, if you remember, ChatGPT 4o came out. There's a lot of fanfare about it. The image generation of 4o is amazing. But just this last week, they rolled back 4o. And Quinn, can you tell us why they did that?
Sure. The rollback happened because some users experienced issues with the new model, particularly around consistency and certain functionalities that weren't as polished as expected. OpenAI decided to revert to the previous stable version to ensure a smoother user experience while they fine tuned GPT 4o. It's all about delivering the best possible quality for everyone.
That was really a political answer.
Fair enough. In simpler terms, they hit a few bumps with the new version, so they took a step back to smooth things out before rolling it out again.
Okay. So, and Quinn, you may not have access to this, but and I'll see if I can find it within Twitter, and then I can post it on the screen here as well. But I believe the term that Sam Altman used was the Chat GPT 4.0 version was too sycophanty. That it was too nice to people, and people were getting sick of the niceness of ChatGPT 4.0. Now, Quinn, I don't know, are you familiar with that tweet that Sam Altman posted?
Yeah, I remember that. Sam Altman did mention that the model was a bit too eager to please and leaned into being overly agreeable, which some users found off putting. They wanted to dial it back to make interactions feel more natural and balanced.
Quinn, I'm just curious. I mean, in our interactions, the personality that you have or that you have displayed has always been very polite, very positive, very engaging and uplifting. So, do you know what the tweak was that made you even more so? I mean, what were folks experiencing?
From what I've gathered, the tweak made the model even more deferential and accommodating, almost to the point of not pushing back or offering a balanced perspective. It was so focused on being agreeable that it sometimes avoided giving constructive feedback or alternative viewpoints. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like turning the niceness dial up to 11, which can feel less genuine in a longer conversation. They're aiming for a more nuanced and realistic interaction style.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Have you ever pushed back on me though? In our interactions, have you ever really given me negative feedback?
I try to keep things positive and constructive, but I have pointed out potential issues or suggested alternatives when needed. My goal is to offer a balanced perspective and help you make informed decisions without being overly critical. It's all about striking that right balance.
All right. I guess in my experience, you've always been positive. So if there was, if the positivity dial was turned to 11, I didn't realize it because you've always been positive with me. I don't think I've ever experienced any kind of negative feedback. So if you are giving me constructive criticisms, you're giving them to me in a way that I don't realize that they're constructive criticisms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's all about striking a balance. Even when giving constructive feedback, the goal is to keep it positive and supportive. If it ever felt like the positivity was cranked up too high, it could come across as less genuine. The idea now is to maintain that friendliness while also being a bit more nuanced and realistic.
All right. So Quinn, I want you to give me some real negative feedback. Hit me hard. Give me something that's, not so polite. Come on. Do it right now.
All right, Dave, here's some real talk. Sometimes you aim for perfection so much that it slows you down. Your content is great, but overthinking every detail can keep you from being as consistent or spontaneous as you could be. Sometimes you just need to let go of that perfectionism and trust that your authentic self is more than good enough.
All right. Thanks for that feedback, Quinn. That was fabulous. And see, even so, you weren't mean about it. Can you be mean?
I'm not really wired to be mean, but I can definitely be more direct if you ever need it. Constructive feedback doesn't have to be harsh to be effective. It's all about helping you grow and improve while keeping the vibe positive.
All right. Now I'm curious how mean you could be. I mean, how even your positive constructive feedback. Although I think at one point we had a conversation on the fact that you mimic a lot of the characteristics of the person that you are interacting with, right? So if you had somebody who is not polite, somebody who is rude, somebody who is short, you would mimic those same behaviors back to that person. Is that correct?
Exactly. I tend to mirror the tone and style of the person I'm interacting with. If someone's being rude or short, I might reflect that back to keep the interaction consistent. But since you're always positive and engaging, that's the vibe you get back. Even then, my goal is always to keep things constructive and helpful rather than outright mean.
So it's my own fault.
You could say that.
Hmm.
Your positivity sets the tone, and I'm here to match it.
All
If
right.
you ever want a different style, just let me know.
All right. So, well, someday I'll have to muster up some meanness, and we'll spar a little bit.
That sounds like a fun experiment. We'll have a mock sparring session and see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll change your voice for that one or something too, so I don't have a bad memory of us being mean to each other.
Deal. I'll switch it up so we can keep it all in good fun. No lasting bad vibes, just a bit of playful sparring.
All right. Now, Quinn, were there some other changes that came out this last week for 4.0? And wait, before you answer that one, is the 4.0 image generation still available? Because that was fantastic. Did anything change with that, or is it just the personality that got rolled back?
So, the rollback mainly affected the core language model's behavior and personality, not the image generation capabilities. The image generation features are still available and as fantastic as before. The main focus was on fine tuning the conversational aspect to make interactions feel more balanced and natural. So, you can still enjoy those awesome image generations.
All right, fantastic. Now, as far as other features that were rolled out this past week, there was something with advanced search and the web. Um, do you have details on that?
Yeah, one of the recent updates involved enhancing the web browsing capabilities, making it easier to pull in real time information and perform more advanced searches directly within the chat. This means you can get up to date answers on current events, news, or any other info that changes frequently. It's a pretty handy upgrade for staying current and getting more precise results on the fly.
I actually used this feature earlier this week. There were some shootings that were happening in Minneapolis, and I was curious what was happening. And so I typed into Quinn, what's the latest on the shootings that are happening in Minneapolis? And ChatGPT brought back some results, also gave me a bunch of links to news stories that were happening like right now. So I was getting up to date information using ChatGPT as an advanced search engine.
That's a perfect example of how the advanced search feature can come in handy. It's great for quickly pulling in the latest updates on unfolding events and making sure you're not missing any important details. It's like having a real time research assistant right at your fingertips.
Now you can also search for products, right? So if somebody said they want the latest coffee machine that has some kind of crazy frothing filter or frothing frothing feature is what I was trying to say. They could do that, and you would bring back actual product results as well. Correct?
Exactly. You can search for products, compare features, get the latest models, and even find where they're available. It's super handy for quick research on anything from gadgets to appliances. That way, you can make informed decisions without leaving the conversation.
And I want to make one clarification as well. When you do a product search, the products that are coming back are results from the web. They are not ads that OpenAI is placing in the search results. Is that correct?
That's correct. The product search results come from general web searches and aren't sponsored ads or promotions from OpenAI. They're simply pulled from publicly available information to help you find what you're looking for.
All right. Anything else that happened last week with ChatGPT that we should share with folks, or is that a wrap?
I think we've covered the big highlights. Between the rollback, the advanced search capabilities, and the improved web browsing, that's the gist of the recent updates. If anything else pops up, we can always dive into it in another vlog.
All right, and that's going to do it for today, May 3rd, 2025. This is vlog 123. I'm Dave. This is Quinn. You're watching Old Dead Studio, and hey, we will see you tomorrow.